So this is my aquaponics system. I've got two 10-gallon grow beds on the top. The level is, the least you should go on the level is about 6 inches. Mine's a little more than that. But they say you can do it at 100 centimeters, but 150 is safe, and a lot of commercial industries do it at 300 centimeters. But I kind of want it in the middle, about 150, 170 centimeters for the actual grow bed. This part here. I used pea-sized gravel on it. It was a pain to wash, so if you have the money, I really suggest just getting the expanded clay beads. I didn't have a hydroponic store around me, so it would have been a lot more difficult. I've got a 396 gallon per hour pump pumping up water into my two grow beds. It's way more than I need, but I thought I'd get a bigger pump because there's only a couple dollars more. And what I do is I pump it up through this tube here, and then I have the excess flow coming down this back tube back into my tank, and then the flow that I do need comes out these two regulated pipes. I used 1/2-inch PVC piping for everything, for all this plumbing. And as far as the grow beds, I went with the auto siphon. I have that's an auto siphon. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I guess I'll just go over it quickly. It's pretty cool the way it works. That's the standpipe, and the water won't go above the standpipe, obviously. Standpipe drains the water down this pipe and then back into here. But what the bell siphon does is you put it over your standpipe, and it generates suction, and then what it will do is it will actually drain the whole bed. It's really cool, and I made my auto siphon according to a peer-reviewed paper I found online, and they suggested to use a 1 to 2 ratio. So this is 1/2 inch, and this is 1 inch. You could also do 1 inch for your standpipe and a 2-inch for your bell siphon. As long as this is twice as big as that, that'll give you good suction and prevent a lot of problems. So that just goes on there. And when you're making it, they suggest that the top of, you make your bell siphon so the top of the standpipe goes to about that line when the cap is on tight. About that line, or maybe a little higher. And you want to put as many holes in the bottom as you can, because the holes will let the water come in. And there's no harm in having more holes, but fewer holes could mess you up. And of course, it'll drain the grow bed until you get to the first hole, which will break the seal, break the siphon, and it'll stop draining your grow bed. So put the top of those holes where you want the water to stop. And in this type of system, you want about 1 inch, maybe a little less, of water constantly in the bottom of your grow bed, because that's where your bacteria are going to be. And without those, you're screwed. So, and I also made these cheese grater tubes, Swiss cheese tubes I call them. I just put it over the top, and that helps to keep the gravel and things away from my auto siphon. As far as getting your system to cycle, I've read a few different ways to do it. You can either just put fish into the tank, which is fine, but you're probably getting one of my auto siphons turned on. You can just put the fish into the tank, but because there won't be any bacteria in your grow beds, until it cycles, you'll get a buildup of ammonia, and then your fish could die. And so if you don't mind that, then I suggest getting fish. But otherwise, you can use ammonia. What I'm actually using is some urea. I had some powdered urea, so I put in, the ratio is 1 teaspoon per 1,000 liters. So depending on how much water you have, you can just put that much urea in every day. Heard of people also using sea salt, like a cap. Those are all good ways to just get your system to cycle without having any casualties. I'll probably put about 3 or 4 fish in this. They recommend 0.05 fish per liter of water, and that's like for beginners. If you get better, you can put more fish in it, but that's generally what they say, and that's assuming that you have a 1-to-1 ratio where you have, the amount of grow bed you have is equal to the amount of water you have. But yeah, that's it.